Hello, Dark Shadows fans, and welcome to Whose Room Is This? How about a short adventure? Are you curious to learn whose room this is? Somehow, someway, this room and all the other photos are connected to Dark Shadows. I promise. Some of you may already realize how it is linked to Dark Shadows, but if you do not, simply sit back and enjoy scanning for clues. I will enjoy reading all you have to say about your observations and or thoughts under the comments section. Your thoughts and impressions are everything to me. Here's the interior of mystery. Take a few minutes to look at it. So, Dark Shadows fans, whose room do you think this is? What have those interiors reminded you of? Whose room? Could it be Josette's room or Vicky's or later on Maggie's room? So, yes, this is the bed from Josette's room in Collinwood on the Dark Shadows set filmed for ABC in New York City. The blue and white room that you have been looking at up to this point is from the room at Seaview that surely must have inspired Cy Tomashoff concerning making it Vicky Josette's Maggie's room on the show. Or I suppose we could say that no matter what Cy Tomashoff says, this room had to have been influenced. Cy Tomashoff is in fact one of the sweetest men I've ever met. He had a truly divine energy. However, he was often very private about his set choices. He was also pure genius. I love to lose myself in the aesthetics of his sets. I'm not sure if anyone ever asked him if he based Vicky slash Josette slash Maggie's room on the one at Seaview. And now I shall give you a tour of similarities and differences about this room as it was presented on the show and as it was when I first encountered it in person in 2009 and with the photos in blue and white that my friends recently took earlier this year. This set for Josette's room at Collinwood is not only elegant and lovely, but the fireplace actually lights up during scenes with actual flames and visually creates a feeling of warmth. As we look at this set of Josette's room, we look at it from the perspective of the fourth wall. According to Is We Are English from YouTube, the fourth wall is an imaginary, invisible barrier between actors, characters, and the audience in theater, film, and literature. In other words, we see only where the window, fireplace, and bed, etc., are. We do not get to see the opposite side of the room beyond where the nightstand, the lady's desk, and the dresser are located. When I first entered this room at Seaview, I could see immediately that there was a small space to my right, and then I thought to myself, that's where the secret panel's supposed to be. My friend Bob walked in, and I looked at him, and he said the words for me. He said,
Yeah, that's you're looking at the secret panel there. It looks a lot like the secret panel. And then he walked over to the fireplace and said, "Oh my gosh, there's a fireplace here too in the same spot as the one in Josette's room." I did a double take at first when I saw it. Suddenly, a thought about a lever to escape Josette's room that could lead me into the depths of Collinwood sort of popped in my head. It was so fun. And I also thought, hmm, could this mean that Barnabas might be on his way? This room at Seaview in real life was filled with so many surprises. The door of the room of this room in Seaview was placed in the same place as the door on Josette's room on set at ABC Studios. Then there's the secret panel area, and then there's the fireplace, and many little neat coincidences, which I will continue to explain. As far as the bed, when I went there to Seaview in 2009, the walls were white. In the later pictures from earlier this year in January of 2026, the the walls were painted blue. A beautiful blue goes fairly well with the like the oceanside theme and looks great with the fireplace. Um, and but to long story short, uh, we didn't take any pictures of the hostess's, the owner of the house's bed because we wanted to be respectful of her privacy. But it's just a fascinating comparison to be made. Hey, look, everybody. Oh my goodness, that's Barnabas. Oh, hi, Barnabas. Hi. Oh, he's so much better looking in person. Oh my gosh. And who's he with? Who is that? Um, okay. It's Josette. And Barnabas. Hey, I guess he just either he's. I guess he can't hear me. But but anyway, so he's reaching out to Josette. Okay, okay. Um, she's triggered the panel, and there they go. Um, yeah. So now I know how Angelique feels. Oh well. But more about the fireplace. Let me circle back to that. So, as we discussed, in 2009, the walls of quote unquote Josette slash Denise's room were white. They had carpeting and uh, they had a different color walls. So basically, there was a fireplace and it has a hard over mantle with a mirror. Its surface is hard to the touch and seems to be made of metal. Whereas on the show, Josette's fireplace in the room that she was staying appeared to be made out of wood and perhaps marble. The black part of the Seaview fireplace is cast iron, and it does seem that there's a piece missing, but that can happen with time. And there was a school at Seaview Mansion for a long time. So this really is an old house, and we wouldn't be surprised if a piece is missing. It could be made out of cast iron as well, or maybe a wood plaster combination. Here are some photos of the different pieces of the overmantel, as well as the hearth part of the fireplace, where the fire would be lit and the wood would be placed. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to take a look at that. And now we're going to take a quick look at the bed that we were able to photograph in 2026. And Josette's ornate canopy bed, it seems like that might have been a bigger bed than the one that was in the room at Seaview. In 2009, when I was first visiting Seaview, the bed actually seemed to have canopy posts on it, which is a really cool coincidence. And and there was no canopy top. So from what I remember, there was no canopy top. This image of the bed with the arrow has an arrow pointing to the nightstand on the right side because that is where Vicky and Josette and later Maggie always had the nightstand in Josette's room at Collinwood. I love this image. It's at the correct angle to represent Josette's room. It's very exciting. If you'll notice, the bed is tucked into the wall. The wall has an unusual shape, I would say. And now we're going to go and explore a couple of antique pieces that can be found in Vicky/Josette's room. Vicky, or Josette's room, has been throughout the show filled with several antiques. One that's notable is the high boy, the tall chest of drawers up on legs. And what's fun about Seaview in real life, Josette's room at Seaview in real life, versus the show is that on the show, the high boy, the tall chest of drawers up on legs, is where Vicky and Josette store their things. Whereas in real life, there's not a high boy there. Instead, there's a white door, which I thought might have been a closet and got all excited about, but it turns out that it is just a door to go from uh, Denise's room over to their other room. And so it's basically just a door. There's also what is referred to as a mail desk or a post desk, which is properly called a secretary. So Victoria seems to be always either looking through her secretary or hiding things in her secretary until David finds them. In this image, there is another antique, and in the scenes with Josette, where she's talking to Natalie or she's by herself, she takes the brush, which she stores on top of what appears to be the secretary piece. I was wondering if that was accurate or if it was not accurate. But now that I looked at the photo before this one with Vicky going through the secretary, I see that there is an antique mirror on top. So I think that answers that question. And finally, there is a lady's desk in Vicky and Josette's room. And it's so exciting. I want one for myself someday. So, a few final points here are that in this photo, you can see that the window has like a wood type finish on it, as though it were a piece of wood. Whereas in real life, Seaview, it was an old white window with white metal features and ventilation. And as far as furniture, there is one more piece I missed, and that is this table that is holding the coffee or tea of the morning that Natalie was kind enough to bring to Josette. So there's those points. Also, in 2009, when I was first at Seaview, it looks to me from photos that they had a carpet at that time and no chandeliers, whereas in 2026, January, they had hardwood floors and they were like darker in color. And the ones on Dark Shadows are also like really dark hardwood, is what it looks like. So I just wanted to make those couple of points along with the chandeliers that there weren't any that I could remember from 2009, and they are there or they were in January. So here are some views of the windows, and this way you can take a closer look of them during daytime and at night. In this image, we have an uncomfortable, creepy shot of Josette as she's in her bed, sleeping or trying to get sleep. And it's clear here that this perspective is showing the vampire view because probably Barnabas, in bat form, is watching her as he prepares himself to give her a visit. When I was there in 2009, I managed to go outside of Seaview, and there's stairs right in front of Josette's room. And so this is me taking a picture through the window, trying to create a dark shadow style vampiric perspective shot uh, for my own artistic self challenge. And here is a shot from the show where, again, it's a voyeuristic and probably vampiristic view shot that they are taking of Josette slash Vicky slash Maggie's room. And this is Denise's room at night. This is one of the shots that I took when I was there in 2009. And if you'll see those three little lit windows, it looks like Juliet's window, so to speak. And it's where it's very lit. My camera, that was a camera with real film back then, um, didn't take dark photos so well. But that is my attempt at a shot from that side of the house where on the show, when they show you this upcoming shot where the light is shining through her window, and we know that either Victoria or Josette are in that episode because the lights will be shining as they are in this image right here. Well, it has been a great pleasure hosting you, and I'm so glad that you all joined. After this presentation, at any time that you're available, please submit any questions that you might have about anything or make any interesting points or educate me on what things are called. That's fine. I'm not a perfect expert. But I must say that this was a wonderful time with you all, and I'm grateful. And if you could please give this video a like if you like it. And if you are a fan of my channel, please give my channel a like and subscribe as well. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And again, feel free to place any questions that you might have in the comments box. I wanted to do a live feed with you guys as far as questions, participation, but unfortunately, YouTube is restrictive with new accounts, and I was unable to secure a live stream type question and answer. But I can answer any questions. We can communicate. YouTube will let me know when you are asking me a question to communicate. Thank you so much.